happy, energetic, thrilled. Those are just a few of the emotions that I felt when I became a part of the Baptist Health family. And that wasn't very long ago. But when I walked into that building the first day, I was really excited. I was happy. I didn't know what to expect. And everyone I came into contact with made that even more and more possible. So I'm still excited. It's been about 4 months now, maybe. My name is Shannon Williams, and I work in organizational development for Baptist Health. In organizational development, what we do is take care of all the individuals who take care of our patients. We essentially take care of one another. What I want to discuss with you today is BEST training. Who knows what BEST stands for? The letters BEST. B-E-S-T. I know it's probably some of you first day, but what does BEST stand for? Anybody know? Oh, there's somebody out there. There's an A student somewhere who was productive and did some reading before coming. Does everyone have a Credo card? Do you know what a Credo card is? Show of hands. I see some people waving them. So look behind you. For those of you who don't know what a Credo card is, hold them back up again. Everyone should have received one shortly. About maybe 10 minutes ago, where they passed out. They will be passed out. BEST stands for Best Baptist Health Engaged Service Transformation. And we're really going to unpack today what that means over the next hour as I'm here with you. Huddle. What comes to mind when you hear huddle? Football team. Anything else? This is going to go a lot more smoothly today if I get interaction.
Support.
So as a part of the Baptist Health culture, something that we start our day with each day is a huddle. Before we set out on what we're going to do for each day when we come to work, we huddle. Why do teams huddle? To make a plan?
Communicate.
What was that?
Communicate.
To communicate. So each day we have a huddle, and there's a story that goes along with it. I'm going to need a volunteer to help me out with this. Someone to read today's huddle. Don't all volunteer at once. No takers? This is only supposed to be an hour. In the back there, I have a volunteer.
Sorry.
Thank you, Hannah. Yes, and this.
All right. Okay. Top key points, network outages. In spite of the great work from our IS colleagues, computers and networks go down from time to time. Sometimes these are planned and communicated ahead of time, but sometimes they are not. When users notice any network computer problems, they should call Baptist Health Information Systems Helpline directly at 501-202-2100. When network outages occur, all impacted units should implement their own downtime procedures. You do have a downtime procedure, don't you? Don't you? The clinical software system Epic is widely used across all of Baptist Health, but other software packages are just as important. If you use software and the computers go down, how will you continue to do your job? One important tool to answer that question is a downtime box with multiple copies of the critical forms you will need. Do you know the location of your downtime box? Corridor safety. At Baptist Health, we have an obligation to ensure a safe environment for our patients, visitors, and coworkers. Part of that is ensuring emergency evacuation routes are clear at all times. In all patient care areas, corridors must be at least 8 feet wide and clear at all times. There are a few, but only a very few exceptions to that. Supplies for patient isolation can be outside of patient rooms. Parts or equipment in active use can be temporarily parked in hallways for no more than 30 minutes. Nothing else can be stored in hallways, including workstations on wheels, linen carts, scales, crash carts, extra beds, wheelchairs, and so on. We must pay attention to equipment which is parked in a corridor for a short time to be sure they are not obstructing certain locations. We can never obstruct fire extinguishers, fire alarm pull stations, electrical panels, or gas shut-off valves. Okay. So when carts or equipment are sitting in hallways, be sure they are not in front of any of these important emergency access points. Is it? Oh. Remember, when disaster strikes, the time to prepare has passed. Stephen,
Cyrus.
is that Cyrus? Okay, that looks like an M, sorry.
So each day we huddle, and when we huddle, sometimes there's a success story that goes along with the huddle. Other times there's safety information, like what was just read to us today. So if there's reoccurrences throughout the system or a specific location where it's impacting patient satisfaction or patient safety, then we cover those topics in huddle. So each day there's always a story or some type of safety precaution that you talk about in your huddle. And then you also come together as a department, as a team, and discuss what your goals are for that particular day. What are we going to focus on as a department? Because all throughout Baptist Health System, we have individuals who come to work each day and everybody's focused on something different. But it ultimately leads into patient satisfaction and patient safety, ensuring that we're taking care of our patients. There's always a quote that's associated with the day's huddle. And you heard the quote by Stephen Cyrus that was read there at the end. We always end every huddle by stating, all of my best begins with me. So we're going to practice this. All of my best, and you say,
With me.
all of our best
It begins with me.
all of our best.
It begins with me.
Are you sure? Because I don't believe you. I'm excited. Y'all aren't as excited as I was to become a part of the Baptist Health family? Side note, if you have an empty seat next to you, could you please raise your hand? We have some people who are standing. So if individuals who don't have seats, we do still have some empty seats available. I have Credo cards. I need a volunteer or two to help me disperse these, please. Anna, thank you for volunteering earlier. As you get your Credo card, please go ahead and pull it out. And while we're doing this, I want you to think about what is it that brought you to Baptist Health Schools? What led to you being here? You're volunteering already? Raise your hand if you still don't have a Credo card. Okay. Still got some people about it. So who's eager to share their story about what brought them to Baptist Health? Did you start thinking about that? Everybody have a reason as to why you're here, what brought you here, and they're all very unique. So pull out your Credo cards, and everybody stand up. find this mission statement on your Credo card, I need a volunteer to read the mission statement for me. Need some more cards? Raise your hand if you still don't have a card. Bria, would you volunteer to read the mission statement for me?
I'm over here.
For those who don't have a Credo card yet, I put it on the screen. I'm helping you out. Mission statement. Volunteer? Oh, there's more than one Bria.
Is it?
There is.
Oh, you were good. How y'all doing? Okay. Mission is provide quality patient services and respond to the changing health needs of Arkansans with Christian compassion.
So as you hear that mission statement, what stands out to you? Do anything stand out at all? Provide quality care. Why did that stand out to you?
You don't want somebody taking care of you that's not quality.
What was that?
You don't want somebody taking care of you that it's not quality.
That's absolutely correct. I don't want anybody putting their hands on me unless it's going to be quality. So that's our mission. Our belief here at Baptist Health. Volunteer, hand high to read the belief. Thank you, Dad.
Baptist Health is more than a business. We are a healing ministry.
What did that statement mean to you? You can answer now.
More than physical health, you're emotionally helping them and spiritually helping them.
I like that. Absolutely agree. Any others? Anything else stand out to you about the belief? It's now your belief. You're here too. Okay. Our values. I volunteer to read those. Also on your Credo card. Volunteer to read the values. Thank you, Charlie.
All of it or just service,
Okay.
honesty,
Thank you.
service. I help others to keep on amazing. I serve others through random acts of kindness. I anticipate the needs of others.
Okay. And when you think about service in your respective role as a student, how are you going to do that?
And one thing for
Evan, you want to help me out? And there's no right or wrong answers. I just want to hear what your thoughts are and how you feel you play a role in that particular value. So heads up.
being prepared
Absolutely.
as a student when you come out, be prepared.
Absolutely. Being fair. Our next value is honesty. Who's going to volunteer to read honesty for me? Thank you.
I have integrity, I practice fairness, I hold myself and others accountable.
And how are you going to do that in your respective roles? How are you going to practice that value? The value of honesty.
Yeah, just tell.
That's it. That's it. Our next value is respect. Do I have a volunteer for respect?
I treat all people with compassion. I take the time to personally connect. I value every person.
How are you going to do that?
Treat everyone as equal and how you want to be treated. Not just Asian. So,
Very important. They're all important. Our next value is stewardship. Volunteer to read stewardship. All right, I'm walking. Guess I'll pick someone in the back.
Doing my best every day. I efficiently manage our resources. I act as an owner of our facilities and equipment.
And how are you going to practice
When I come to class, work, do my best.
that? Absolutely. And the last value is performance. Volunteer for performance. You want to read performance for me? Thank you.
Yeah, I would. I seek to continuously improve. I take pride in my professional appearance, language, and behavior. I'm patient focused. Yeah. I don't,
And how are you gonna do that in your role?
I guess just continue to learn, you know, just different things out here to just improve your knowledge about it.
Absolutely, all good. Thank you all for reading those values for me. Are you tired of standing now? You can have a seat. So as you'll notice on my name badge that my Credo card I carry with me everywhere that I go, most of this information I've committed to memory. I know it by heart now, but I still keep it with me as a reminder. And I oftentimes have to pull my Credo card out to just refresh myself. I oftentimes give it away as well because I'll run into an employee somewhere and they don't have their Credo card. I was like, hey, where's your Credo card? You have to be proud of that thing. So I'll oftentimes give it away because my department, we're the ones who hold these Credo cards, and I'll just get another one. So when we talk about engagement, it's an essential part of our best culture here at Baptist Health. What comes to mind when you think about engagement? A student who's engaged, an employee who's engaged.
Paying attention, asking questions.
Asking questions, dedicated. Any others?
Helping out other people.
Helping out other people. What was that? Willing to do the work. A lot of times when people hear engaged, they think of an individual who has to be really happy and I'm excited and I'm smiling all the time. That's not necessarily what engagement means. Engagement means that you're committed to doing quality work and providing quality service. Your engaged employee doesn't necessarily mean that I'm smiling all the time and I'm really energetic and excited all the time, but I am committed to doing quality work and serving others. Each year at Baptist Health, we measure the engagement of our employees. And we do that through a Gallup survey where we ask a series of 12 questions to determine how engaged are we as a workforce. Because research tells us the more engaged employees are, the better our patient outcomes and our patient satisfaction will be. And because of those two indicators, we're able to thrive as a healthcare provider. So it's very essential and important to us each year that we continue to monitor the engagement of our employees. On the front line, those employees are the ones who are providing the most for our patients. They have the most interaction with our patients. So when we think about employee or student engagement, an engaged employee is someone who's involved, enthusiastic about, and committed to his or her work. And when you think about that discrimination or definition of engagement, I want you to think about two questions. What led you to healthcare? And describe your best day at work or your best day at school in a healthcare environment. I want you to take just a moment and turn to the person next to you and discuss those two questions. You'll probably also meet a new friend in the process. Start now. Okay, let's come back as a group. Sounds like I heard some great conversations. And hopefully there are some of you who will share what you came across in your conversation. Any volunteers to share with the larger group? I told y'all at the beginning now, if y'all didn't interact and engage with me, this is going to take a little longer. I teamed up with Travis. And Travis shared with me what led him to healthcare, and that was that he comes from a family of healthcare providers, people who work in the healthcare industry. And I encountered that a lot since I've been here at Baptist Health. A lot of times people come into healthcare because they have family members who came into healthcare or been in healthcare for several years. That's kind of how I fell into education. I come from a family of educators. And that's essentially what I do here at Baptist Health, is educate. Travis also shared that his best day at work was an opportunity for him not to be so bogged down in work. We'll say that. So it was an easy, manageable load for him. And that is what he described as his best day. So when we think about engagement, those are two things that we should consider. Any other volunteers who want to share from your group? I would love it if you share.
For me, what led me to healthcare is stable career. I always want to find a job in healthcare. Best day at work would be everybody doing their job, and I don't have to do all theirs and mine.
Thank you. My best day at work is getting an opportunity to get out the office. 80% of what we do is go around and do trainings, do presentations. So an opportunity not to be in the office looking at data or building presentations and getting out and getting an opportunity to interact with individuals like I'm doing now. Those are my best days at work. So probably 4 out of 5 days a week is my best day at work. Absolutely love what I do. I come to work each day and I'm engaged in what I do. Absolutely love it. Do I look engaged?
Yes.
Thank you. So there's a quote that comes from the Maryland Institute. Can't even see it. The sum of all interactions shaped by an organization's culture that influence patient perceptions across the continuum of care. What do you think about when you see that quote? It's not ours, but we really like it.
The
When you
impression.
think about what you're in school for, the job or career that you hope to have when you finish in healthcare, what did this statement mean to you? Thank you.
I don't need that.
Okay.
The way that others perceive us, whether they're patients or family members or people we work with, will sum up how they see us as a whole, how we are seen as Baptist employees or Baptist organization, period.
Absolutely correct. So the sum of all our interactions when patients and other visitors set foot on a Baptist Health campus really shapes who they or how they view Baptist Health overall. Regardless of what that person's role is within Baptist Health, what they see is someone with a name badge on that says Baptist Health, and the encounter that they have with that individual or individuals, and how all of that really shapes what people are saying about Baptist Health as a whole. And there's a couple ways that we, as a Baptist Health organization, assess that. HCAHPS, which deals with patient satisfaction, and then Press Ganey is another survey that we use to really assess how we're doing in these areas. So when it comes to delighting our patients, or serving our patients, this is something that we like to use. When you think about what's expected, what do you expect when you come into a hospital, or you come in to visit with your doctor at a clinic? Base expectation, non-negotiables. I helped you out, I put it on the screen. Cleanliness. What else?
Good manners.
Service, good manners. And those are listed on the screen. Are there any others that when you go somewhere and you're paying for a service that is non-negotiable for you? I expect this. Respect.
Professional attitude.
Yes.
I want your total attention. Confidence. Did I hear confidence? Confidence. Oh, know what you're doing. Any others? Kindness.
like a person instead of a room number.
Treat you like a person other than a room number. We talked about that in orientation, by the way, but absolutely. Okay, when we move up a level from the expected, we get into that whole requested. So what are examples of some things that we request when we go into a healthcare facility? What was that? Timeliness.
Knowledge.
What was that?
Knowledge.
Knowledge from
The doctor.
the doctor. And I think that's a great one because a lot of times, can't say a lot of times, but I've been in personal situations where I'm at a doctor's office or at a clinic and I'm talking to my healthcare provider and they come in there trying to tell me what's going on and they're speaking in all this medical jargon and I'm like, okay, we need to bring it back about 5 tiers and really put this in a way that I can understand what you're saying. So I think that's really important. Other things that's requested.
Compassion.
Compassion. Any others?
Discreetness.
Discreetness. And when we think about, what about some tangible things that you may request when you go into a healthcare facility? What was that? Private room. Pain control. I'm in pain. Give me some meds. I need some more pillows. My head is hurting. Those are some examples of things that you may request. And then when we get to the very top, the degree of expectation, we talk about the delighted. Someone read us what delighted says. Can you see it? A little bit of a glare. When we delight patients, we talk about that surprise, random acts of kindness. So we start at the very bottom when we talk about the expectations when our patients come into our facility. Base things that they expect from us. It's a non-negotiable. I'm here, I expect these things. And then we talk about the things that they may request from us. And then when we get to the very top, we talk about that delight. What are some of the things that we do or we can do to delight our patients? It's not something that they expect, and it's not something that they're going to request from us. Warm blankets. We may notice when we walk into a patient room or encounter a patient that they're freezing. They're undercover, but we go and get some warm blankets and bring those back. They didn't expect it because they did not request it, but we saw that they were cold, and we went above and beyond to delight that patient. Other examples?
Don't turn all the lights on in the middle.
Don't turn all the lights on in the middle of the night.
I think when they need help trying to find an area, instead of just saying, oh, go through that way, walk them through it.
Absolutely.
Time of a few minutes to go walk along there. So they get lost.
If a patient is lost, you take the time to facilitate that direction for them rather than sending them on their minded way. Now, we've gotten some pushback in my department from individuals who are in patient care areas and say, I can't walk every patient who's lost to where they're trying to find. And we understand there may be a critical need for your service in another area, but in my department, we're not in a patient care area. Anytime we encounter an individual on a Baptist Health campus, regardless of where we are, we're going to stop what we're doing and we're going to walk that individual to what it is that they're trying to find. My office is at the Little Rock main campus, and it's a huge campus. And telling a patient or a visitor, go down the hall, make a left, and when you go down to make that left, you're going to see this big old sign, and go past that sign, and then you're going to make a right. They're going to be lost as soon as they turn away from me. So we make it our business when we encounter individuals within our hospitals to walk or take them where it is that they're trying to get to. Here at Baptist Health Schools, if I encountered someone in the hall who was lost, this is only like my 3rd time over here. I can't tell them where to go, but I want to walk with them to find someone else who can give us both directions. So, we focus on expected, the requested, and then our ultimate goal is to delight our patients whenever possible. Baptist Health, amazing experience. This is also on your Credo card. Any amazing experience, we want to ensure that we greet warmly. First impressions lay the foundation. A general rule of thumb that I like to follow is the 15-5 rule. And essentially what that is when I'm walking in the hospital, I try to make eye contact with a patient, a visitor, whomever, another employee, my colleague, whoever that individual may be. At 15 feet, I make it my business to make eye contact at no less than 15 feet. And then when I become within 5 feet of that individual, you better bet that I'm going to greet them very warmly. You never know what a smile can do to someone. You never know what type of day that individual is having. Number 2, be responsible to people's needs and exceed their expectations. Goes back to that degree of delight, amazing them. We don't just want to provide the expected and the requested, because who else out there are our competitors at Baptist Health? That's a question you can answer. UAMS, St. Vincent, you can bet St. Vincent and UAMS is providing the expected and the requested. But one of the things that really sets us apart is amazing them each time they come back to visit us. What are individuals saying about Baptist Health out in the communities? What do you say about Baptist Health? The third piece of that is provide a genuine handoff, leaving a positive impression. All right, you're discharged. We'll see you later. Good riddance. We really want to take time to ensure that a patient is up to speed and aware of everything that needs to happen when they're leaving us. Or it could be a situation where they're transferring from one department or one facility to another. We want that patient to feel like they're cared about, that they're special, that we're going to give them a service that wants them to come back, and to ensure that we are providing the best possible quality service. So ensuring that that handoff is genuine, that we're making that contact with the other facility or individual, and that we're communicating effectively, especially within our hospitals. I want to go back to a question I posed just a moment ago, and that is, when individuals in the community see or hear Baptist Health, you know how all these organizations have signs? What comes to mind, or what are people saying when they see or hear about Baptist Health? I want you to think about that for just a moment. And I would really love it if a couple of volunteers would share. It could be something else you've heard. In the back, is that Hannah?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. What I've heard and from my family's experience, you have a good chance of survival. And if you go to or a better chance of survival if you go to Baptist for any type of surgical procedure, any kind of anything.
Okay. Awesome. Any others? Share things you've heard about Baptist Health out in the communities.
I heard it was a good place to have babies.
A good place to have babies. I've heard that too. I'll find out one day, maybe. Any others?
This is the only nursing program that I never heard a negative comment about.
That's awesome. Only nursing program she's never heard a negative comment about. That's because we're delighting every student who walks through our doors. Any others? I live in Conway. I got to tell you this story really quick. I live in Conway, and I've been in Conway for about 5 years now. And when I first went to Conway, there was only one hospital. Nobody had anything good to say about that hospital. I never had an opportunity to go to that hospital, but there were no positive comments about that hospital, so I wasn't taking any chances. I drove back and forth to Little Rock before Baptist Health came to Conway. And I was so excited when Baptist Health came to Conway. Never visited that other hospital, but the very first time that I went to that Baptist Health hospital, they delighted me every step of the way. From the moment I stepped into the ER and the admissions clerk helped me, to the nurse who came into the room, to the doctor. It was delightful. And it's good to have that feeling. Care rounding. Have you heard this term before? You're smiling. You heard it? What about just rounding in general?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. So care rounding is something that we really emphasize at Baptist Health. And I'll go through each one of the letters and tell you what it stands for. When we talk about the C, we talk about communicating. Each time you're in the patient's room, you always want to state your name, your discipline, and the purpose of why you're there. Simple as that. We want to ensure that we're communicating effectively. We have colors that we wear at Baptist Health facilities, and the color pretty much tells an individual, tells us as employees or students what that person's role is. But to a patient who's in the room, if somebody comes in and they just starts to messing with stuff and doing stuff to you, you're like, who are you? Why are you here? Especially if you're someone who's going in the room and possibly having to take some blood and sick, and you get my arm and start, I'm like, hey, who are you? And I don't like needles either, so the C is all about communicating, ensure that we're communicating each time we set foot into a patient's room or interacting with a patient. We also want to, A, assess. Be alert to any unmet needs the patients may have, especially if they're non-communicating. So just assess your surroundings, assess what's going on with the patient. And then when we get to the R is for restroom and is also for relaying information. Does the patient need to use the restroom? We need to know that when we're doing care around him. And does urinal need to be empty? Is inconsistent patient wet? And then the E stands for environment. Does the patient have access to water? Can they reach the call light, the phone, and the urinal? And then we also want to ensure that we clear any clutter from the environment. So those are our steps in care rounding. We don't always get it right. We mess up sometimes. We're human, it happens. But what do we do when we mess up? We fix it. We have to recover. And there's some steps that we follow when it comes to recovery. If you haven't learned this about healthcare already, there are a lot of acronyms. And they're still adding them day by day. I was in a meeting this morning and I found out there was a new acronym called ICE, and I can't even tell you what it means now because I just wrote it down in my notes and said I need to go back and ask what ICE means later, but we have a new acronym. But when we talk about service recovery, when we mess up, what do we need to do? And we always like to emphasize last. Listen. What does it mean to listen? We messed up. And we're trying to recover this patient. We hear their complaints. How to fix it.